A relationship can survive long distance, cultural differences, and even the pressure of reality television. But when two people realize they may want completely different futures, every conversation suddenly carries much more weight. That's exactly where Raşit and Mallorie find themselves now. What began as a search for clarity has turned into one of the most emotionally charged moments of the season, with Raşit revealing that he may be ready to walk away if two major issues cannot be resolved. His stance has left viewers questioning whether love alone is enough when a couple cannot agree on the biggest life decisions of all. As this latest chapter unfolds on Time's 90-day Fiancé, the ultimatum asterisk, the future of their relationship appears more uncertain than ever. The latest preview from this week's episode puts the spotlight squarely on a conversation that many couples hope they never have. According to the available information, Raşit tells Mallorie that he could end their relationship if she continues to feel that she does not want children, and also insists on having a prenuptial agreement before marriage. Those two issues, taken together, appear to represent deal breakers for him, rather than subjects that can simply be negotiated later. That revelation immediately changes the tone of their relationship. Instead of discussing wedding plans or taking the next step together, they are now facing the possibility that their dreams for the future simply do not match. It's the kind of disagreement that doesn't necessarily have a right or wrong answer, but it can determine whether two people are ultimately compatible. The conversation about children has long been one of the most important decisions any couple can face. Some people view becoming parents as an essential part of building a family, while others are equally confident that they do not want children. Neither choice is inherently incorrect, but problems arise when partners are firmly committed to opposite paths. Based on the preview, Raşit appears to believe that having children is an important part of the future he envisions. Meanwhile, Mallorie's position, as described in the available information, suggests that she still does not want children. If neither person is willing to change that position, the relationship may reach a point where compromise simply isn't possible. That alone would create enormous emotional pressure. However, the disagreement does not stop there. The second issue involves Mallorie's reported desire to have a prenuptial agreement. Prenups often become controversial topics in reality television because they can raise questions about trust, finances, and long-term commitment. Some people see them as practical legal protection, while others interpret them as evidence that one partner expects the marriage to fail. At this point, the available information does not explain exactly why Raşit objects to the idea of a prenup, or what concerns Mallorie hopes it would address. Because those details have not been confirmed, it would be unfair to assume either person's motivations. Still, the disagreement itself clearly adds another layer of tension to an already difficult conversation. What makes this situation especially compelling is that these aren't temporary problems. They're not arguments about where to spend a holiday or whose family to visit next weekend. These are life-changing questions that shape the entire future of a marriage. If one person dreams of raising children and the other does not, someone would eventually have to sacrifice a deeply personal goal. Likewise, if one partner strongly believes a prenuptial agreement is necessary while the other cannot accept it, trust can quickly become a major issue before the wedding even takes place. That's why this latest development feels so significant. Viewers who have followed relationship-based reality television know that emotional conversations often reveal more than dramatic arguments. Calm discussions about values, expectations, and future plans can sometimes be even more revealing than explosive confrontations, because they expose differences that cannot easily be solved. In Raşit and Mallorie's case, the conversation appears to move beyond temporary frustration and into fundamental compatibility. The title of the series itself makes this conflict even more meaningful. An ultimatum forces people to make difficult decisions rather than continue avoiding uncomfortable truths. Instead of delaying conversations that many couples postpone until later, participants must confront them directly. That pressure can strengthen some relationships. For others, it exposes problems that have existed all along. This latest preview suggests Raşit believes the time has come for honesty, even if that honesty could end the relationship. Rather than pretending these issues will somehow resolve themselves after marriage, he appears prepared to acknowledge that their future together depends on reaching agreement. From Mallorie's perspective, the situation may feel equally overwhelming. If she remains confident in her views about children and continues to believe a prenuptial agreement is important, she may also feel that compromising would require giving up values that matter deeply to her. While viewers have only seen a preview, the emotional weight of the discussion is already clear. Neither position appears simple, neither decision appears easy. That's exactly why so many fans are paying attention. Relationship disagreements often become more complicated because they involve emotion alongside practical reality. Love can inspire people to make sacrifices, but there are certain life choices that many individuals consider too important to compromise. Whether to become parents is often one of those choices. Financial protection before marriage can be another. When both disagreements happen at the same time, the emotional stakes become even higher. Some viewers may sympathize with Raşit's position if they believe couples should share the same vision for marriage before making a lifelong commitment. Others may understand Mallorie's perspective if they feel every individual has the right to make personal decisions about parenthood and financial security without pressure. That's part of what makes this storyline so compelling. It invites discussion without offering an obvious answer. Instead of presenting a clear hero or villain, the situation appears to center on two people, trying to determine whether their futures are truly compatible. Another interesting aspect is timing. These conversations are happening before marriage rather than after. While they are undoubtedly painful, many relationship experts have argued that discussing children, finances, and expectations before getting married is healthier than discovering major incompatibilities later. From that perspective, difficult honesty now could prevent even greater heartbreak in the future. Of course, honesty doesn't eliminate pain. If anything, it sometimes makes emotional decisions even harder. Imagine investing significant time, emotional energy, and hope into a relationship, only to realize that the person you love wants a fundamentally different life. That realization can be heartbreaking regardless of who is ultimately right. Based on the preview, Raşit appears to recognize that possibility. Instead of avoiding the conversation, he seems willing to acknowledge that these issues may determine whether the relationship continues. That reaction has sparked plenty of discussion among viewers who are already debating whether either partner should reconsider their position. Some may wonder whether love should be enough to overcome differences like these. Others believe certain values simply cannot be negotiated. The audience is likely to remain divided because both perspectives have understandable arguments behind them. One important question also remains unanswered. How firm are each person's positions? The preview indicates Raşit may end the relationship if Mallorie continues to reject the idea of having children and insists on a prenup. However, previews often highlight the most dramatic moments without revealing how the full conversation unfolds. That means viewers should be cautious about drawing final conclusions before seeing the complete episode. It's entirely possible that additional context could explain each person's concerns in greater detail. Perhaps they will continue discussing possible compromises. Perhaps they will better understand one another after expressing their fears. Or perhaps the conversation confirms that they simply want different futures. At this stage, the full outcome has not been revealed. That uncertainty is one reason anticipation continues to build ahead of the new episode. Reality television often succeeds because it reflects genuine questions many couples face outside the cameras. Disagreements about children affect countless relationships. Discussions about finances create stress for many engaged couples. Concerns about trust and long-term security are hardly unique to television. By bringing those conversations into the spotlight, the show encourages viewers to think about what they would do under similar circumstances. Would they compromise? Would they stand firm? Or would they decide the relationship had reached its natural conclusion? Those questions extend far beyond one couple. They resonate because they involve universal relationship challenges. Another factor that may influence audience reaction is how each person communicates during the discussion. Viewers often pay close attention not only to what is said, but also to how it is said. Calm honesty, empathy, and respect can completely change how audiences interpret difficult conversations. Likewise, frustration or emotional distance can shape public opinion just as strongly as the actual disagreement itself. Without seeing the complete exchange, it's impossible to know exactly how both individuals handle the conversation from beginning to end. That's another reason fans are eager to watch the full episode, instead of relying only on brief promotional clips. The situation also raises broader questions about compatibility versus compromise. Every successful relationship requires compromise in some areas. However, many people believe there are certain issues that define the future strongly enough that compromise becomes unrealistic. Parenthood is often one of those issues. Financial expectations before marriage can be another. When both arise simultaneously, couples may discover that affection alone cannot bridge every difference. That realization can be incredibly painful. It can also provide clarity. If Raşit ultimately decides these issues cannot be resolved, viewers may see someone choosing long-term compatibility over short-term emotion. If Mallorie maintains her position, others may view that as remaining true to herself, rather than abandoning deeply held beliefs simply to preserve the relationship. Again, neither interpretation has been officially confirmed. Those are simply possibilities, based on the available information. As the new episode approaches, many viewers are likely asking the same question. Is this truly the end for Raşit and Mallorie? Or is this simply the most difficult conversation they've faced so far? Reality television previews are designed to create suspense, and sometimes the final episode reveals unexpected nuance that promotional clips cannot capture. There may be additional discussions, there may be moments of understanding, or the relationship may indeed reach a breaking point. For now, no official outcome beyond the preview has been confirmed. One thing is certain though, this conversation has shifted attention away from ordinary relationship drama and toward fundamental questions about what two people need in order to build a lasting future together. Those questions don't disappear easily. They require honesty, patience, and sometimes incredibly difficult decisions. Whether Raşit and Mallorie ultimately stay together or decide to go their separate ways, this moment is likely to become one of the defining points of their journey on the show. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear your perspective. If you were in this situation, do you think disagreements about having children and signing a prenuptial agreement are issues that can be worked through, or are they reasonable deal breakers? Do you understand Raşit's position, Mallorie's point of view, or do you think both have valid reasons for standing their ground? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments because this is one story that is sure to spark plenty of discussion. As new episodes continue to reveal what happens next, viewers will finally learn whether this emotional conversation marks the end of Raşit and Mallorie's relationship or the beginning of a deeper understanding between them. Whatever the outcome, the biggest question remains whether love can survive when two people envision very different futures. Stay tuned for more reality TV updates, relationship news, and entertainment stories right here on ***Philpulse****. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest developments from the world of Time's 90-Day Fiancé ***and beyond.